Hello. Well, oh, I forgot there's a 20-second delay, so welcome. Oh, okay, good. I'm there. So, totally, this is fully random. Um, I had talked to Robin from Toadstool Tarot, who is here currently, and he was asking when I was going to do another cook with me, and he said he really enjoyed when I think it was my birthday. I did my own birthday cake with Elle, and I had to cook today, so I thought I'll just go live today. So it's fully random. I don't expect that a ton of people will be here or be able to be here because, like I said, I didn't even know I was doing it till an hour ago. Um, And then, so I have my old phone that I'm using for the chat because I'm broadcasting from my phone. It's been it's been a very eventful planning of this live. So I'm gonna do the best that I can with this, and we'll see. Maybe I'll get a phone call in the middle. Who knows? Um, and I was gonna say the dog might start screaming because the mail hasn't come, but just before I went live, the mail showed up. So potentially, depending on how long this takes, we could potentially also do a little unboxing. So we'll see. Um, so I'm gonna do my best to kind of keep an eye on the chat and also get this moving so that you know everyone isn't stuck here for hours and hours. Even though I think everyone here probably knows that I can talk for hours and hours. But let me just blow through the chat really quick and say hello. So we have Robin, who looks like he was the very first person in, not surprised. Um, and then we have Jen from Science to Soul and Transformation. I didn't realize you changed your name. So there you go. Just noticed that. Melissa. Jackie is here. Zane also had a name change that I like. Chris, Shane, L, K also is here. Okay, I'm at the bottom, so I think that's everyone. Okay, so what I'm going to be making is sort of a local thing. It's barbecue shrimp and grits. That's what we call it. That's not what it is. It is not barbecue. Don't think barbecue sauce. Don't think grill. It's none of those things. Um, but it is specific to us. Well, my area. Specifically, it's a New Orleans thing, but of course, like everything else, we kind of steal it. And we're also close enough that it is here too. So essentially, what it is a wow. You turn 30, and then all of a sudden, entire sentences just like fall out of your head. I guess. Um, it's an amber beer reduction, and before people who are like, I don't like beer, it's gross, whatever. Don't get freaked out about it. I do not drink beer, and I love it. Um, this is probably one of the dishes that people talk about the longest after I've made it for them, and it's one of the things that more than anything else gets requested anytime there's a potluck or I'm cooking. People always want me to make it. It's fantastic all year round, but it's really good right now. Um, Jen, if you can't do shrimp, if you have a seafood allergy, I will say the sauce lends itself well to chicken as well. So you could make this and just use like chicken thighs, I think would be ideal, but you know, you could do it with a chicken breast, really anything you have, tenders, whatever. So this is the beer that I'm using. It's a Beta, which is local. So as part of the recipe, it's basically 4 beers and 4 beer bottles filled with water. But the beer is such a beautiful color. And it's delicious and it's mild. So I'm going to start with that. Well, there we go. So beer in, water in. You know, I guess I could watch out anybody with motion sickness, I guess. I'm trying to see if I could just like, well, you know, I'm working with what I have, what I got. I'll try to figure out a better way to do this next time. For now, I have the tripod literally set up like directly behind my phone, not even 3 inches is my refrigerator. So that goes in, and then it is a cup of minced garlic. I know it sounds like a lot. It sort of, I guess, is a lot. But it reduces and the garlic kind of cooks and the alcohol kind of helps with the how pungent it is. And then it is, I've combined the next 2 ingredients just because it's easier and you'll see why. It is a cup of Louisiana hot sauce. Yes, I do think this is important. Yes, Melissa, it was an entire cup of garlic. This is important. If you can't get Louisiana hot sauce, like I think you can even get it on Amazon, but if you can't get Louisiana, use a hot sauce that is really pepper forward and not really vinegar forward. This has just like a lot of really good Tabasco peppery flavor without that vinegary weird. I don't like that. I don't like the vinegary. And then it gets a half a cup of, I mean, depending on where you are, I guess you can say anything. I call it Liam Perrins because then you don't have to fuck with messing up the name. Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Worcester sauce. I mean, like, you could call it a million things. So far we have 4 beers, 4 beers worth of water, a cup of garlic, half a cup of Liam Perrins Worcestershire sauce, a cup of Louisiana hot sauce, and then it also gets a 1/4 cup of chicken base, which is the same as chicken bouillon, or sometimes you can just get it and it's called, it comes in a jar and it's called like looked up the chat and then again had another squirrel moment. So I have no clue what I was just saying. But I did see that Shane asked if you don't like hot sauce, can you skip it? Okay, so the flavor is there, but it's not like a buffalo sauce kind of flavor. It's just like, it just adds a little depth. What I will say is that if you don't love spicy things, then you can reduce the amount. I would just like cut it in half, do maybe like a quarter of a, a half a cup, a quarter of a cup, um, instead, but I wouldn't eliminate it completely because it really does kind of add depth, and it isn't really like hot sauce forward. Um, yes, I don't see the comment from L about my mise en place, but yes, I do like to have everything in order. Plus, honestly, if I'm gonna get on here and do something live, the last thing I want to do is have a clusterfuck of random ingredients and me trying to measure it out and then screw it up. Because ultimately, this dinner is not even for me. It's for, I cook for a family twice a week. I deliver to them on Mondays and I deliver to them on Wednesdays, and this is going to be their Wednesday night dinner. So that really is it for that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the lid and cover it until it boils. I just want it to boil quickly because I'm doing this live. If you're doing it at your house, take your time. It doesn't cook covered. I'm just trying to speed it up since I'm doing it live. You want the cover to be off because you want it to reduce, and the only way it's going to reduce is if it's open. If you put the lid on, it's not really going to reduce. It'll just keep, evaporating, condensating, coming back down. So yeah, that's that. Um, and then I guess, okay, so for all the fun little comments about how people would love to have their own chef and stuff. So the family that I cook for, I grew up with her younger sister, and she is a very prominent attorney in town, and her husband is he's like the second person in charge of a major construction company here. So they're both making over six figures and doing great. That's my dog currently screaming. I'm sure there's just a neighbor dog walking or something like that. So yeah, they're doing just fine. Okay, so the sauce essentially is going to reduce by half or a little bit more. And then we're going to finish it with a little bit of cornstarch and water to make a little slurry. That's going to kind of just help it tighten up and stay together. And then finish it with some fresh chopped rosemary at the very end, not now. Because if you add it now, when rosemary cooks for too long, it gets kind of bitter and a little astringent tasting. And this, doing it at the very, very end, keeps it from doing that, but also like gives it a nice little flavor. And then ultimately the sauce will be finished with butter. Here's another thing you should know right off the bat. No part of this is going to be really good for you, especially the grits. Jen, we're making New Orleans style barbecue shrimp and grits. And yeah. So now I'm going to make the grits. I have, I guess you can kind of see. I have a cast iron Dutch oven that I prefer to make them in. But you can make them really in anything. So Yes, it looks like a lot of butter. It's 2 pounds, but only a half a pound is going in the grits. Only a half a pound. Um, I need a towel. Let's see. Yes, it is Le Creuset. Melissa. It's one of my favorite pots on the planet. I guess I'll give you a fun little. Why not have a fun? What kind of evening would it be without a fun, random Brant story? So, the story behind the pot is that one evening, well, really it was night because me and Josh were pretty much asleep when we first started dating. His mom texted him, but he was asleep, and I just heard his phone ding, and then sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. People who do this on a regular basis, live, and then try to read the comments, and it's not the easiest. So I'm gonna stick to the story, and then I'll go back to the comments. So anyway, his mom texted him in the middle of the night. I say middle of the night. It probably was like an hour after we went to sleep. Um, and his phone dinged like more than once. And so I rolled over and looked at it, not to be nosy, but just to see like what's going on with it before I woke him up. And the text was about me, and it was not the nicest thing. And so I decided not to go to Christmas that year, even though we had planned it for weeks. So I basically was just like, fuck it, I'm not going. You can tell her I'm working, or you can tell her the truth. I don't care, but I'm not going. And so then I didn't go. And then this pot showed up when Josh came home. So yeah, I love it. And now I don't mind using it, and I have a great time using it because his mom is lovely and fantastic. And the problem in the beginning was that she just didn't know me. No, no, Jen, everything is great. We get along great now. I spend the holidays with her. She comes here for for Christmas. We go there for Thanksgiving because she lives, you know, away. Um, the correlation, Simon, if you're talking about between the pot and the situation is that the pot is an expensive pot, and his mom sent it to me as an apology because she realized that she was an asshole, and that's why I didn't go to Christmas. Yes, she absolutely bought a pot to try and make things better. And in the long run, the pot did help, but also she apologized, so everything was fine. So we have half a pound of butter in there, melted. I like to melt the butter first because if you don't, all this cold liquid and stuff really seems to take a lifetime to get hot and everything. Let's check on our little sauce. Not quite bubbling yet. Um, don't ask me why, but for some reason when I make these, I do the same thing that I do with the beer. I fill the I fill the milk bottle up with water and do that too. And I'm sure in your head you're thinking, "Oh, how nice! You've made it a little lighter since you used whole milk." But no, I then use an entire quart of heavy cream. So, yeah. No part of this, like I said in the beginning, no part of this is healthy. And then, so essentially, the rule of thumb is that for every cup of grits, you do 4 cups of liquid. Lots of places you'll read differently. I'm telling you, as a person from the South who eats lots of grits, that's the rule of thumb. And for every cup of grits, you want about a tablespoon of salt. So in this case, I have 32 and 32, 64 divided by 4, half a gallon, 8 cups of. Did you see all of that? That was like my ADD brain processing in the afternoon, all of that. 8 cups of water, half a cup, water, liquid, in this case, milk and heavy cream, half a pound of butter, and it's going to be 2 cups of grits, 2 tablespoons of salt. And then, yeah, so basically, I'm going to bring that to a boil. Once it's boiling, I will add in the grits and then stir them pretty constantly. Otherwise, you'll get lumps. And then at the very end, I'll fold in half a pound of very sharp cheddar cheese. It's excuse me. This particular cheddar is Tillamook white cheddar from I believe it's Vermont. Oh, motion sickness. Spoiler again. Relocating. And now I'll check this. Sage Advice Tarot, yes, I absolutely will put the recipe in the comments, not the comments, in the description box. Jen, sometimes, yes, I do. Mostly, mostly around birthdays and special occasions, little birthday cakes and that kind of thing. So yes, I do sometimes bake for them. Not always, though. And I've cooked for them for months. I've cooked for them for this is probably the 4th or 5th month that I've done this. Oh, Jilly's here. Hello, Jilly. Nice to see you. I was just thinking about you, Jilly. I meant to text you a picture. I just only, of course, in Louisiana, can you be planting things at the end of October. So I just planted in my front flower bed. I just have all new plants. So Jilly, I think you'll appreciate this and enjoy it. It is, let me move this out of the way. The lid. And I'm gonna add the lid to that so it will cook a little quicker. Oh, snowed. I wish it would snow. It was 90 degrees today, so I don't have to worry about that. Jilly, what I'm cooking tonight is New Orleans style barbecue shrimp and grits. I will absolutely take the pictures, Jilly. I can I can give you a tour. Okay, I'll do that. I'll film a little tour of my garden area. It's not really so. Okay, I don't know if you're in the UK or not, but garden seems to be what everyone in the UK calls their backyard. And here, a garden is like vegetables. When I think garden, I think like herbs, vegetables, like something, flowers, like something you plant with a purpose. And garden, every time I hear someone in the UK talking about a garden, it seems like they're just talking about their yard, just like any old backyard, front yard. So, yes, I will. Well, maybe it's a Canadian thing too, then. Or maybe I'm the one who is confused. I don't know. Unclear. Um, so that the sauce is bubbling away. I don't know that I'll have time to finish the sauce here live with everyone because it's going to take a little while for that to actually reduce. Um, oh, Sage. Um, that's a shame that you didn't get to try them while you were here. Well, now you can make it, and it'll be real and authentic because here I am telling you exactly how to make it. Oh yeah, I guess I could do open one of these decks while I'm doing all the rest of this. Um, wait, Simon, isn't it a little? Oh, it's not late for you because y'all's time changed. So you're only 5 hours ahead. Well, I guess it is still kind of late for you though, because it's like 11:30. I forgot the time changed. How nice. That's so cool. Now y'all are a little bit closer to us. Or I guess we're a little bit closer to you. Um, okay, well, that's nearing a boil. I guess I'm going to just move the tripod. Okay, not terrible. That wasn't actually terrible. And then we'll do a little unboxing and then come back to that. I don't know. The fur babies are great. You just missed Julep, our dog, just like screaming because this is what I have available. One of these I'm expecting, and the other one I don't know what it is. I guess I should not show you our address, but it has the most stamps I've ever seen. I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, just like so many, all down here. Oh, oh, other way. Just a ton of stamps. Oh, I cannot do military time. This also, is this a... I'm so glad I have a Canadian person here and a couple of people from the UK and maybe even Australia. Jen, you can tell us if this is a thing that you do there too. But almost every package I get from the UK or Canada comes wrapped in brown paper like it's Christmas. And I'm just wondering if that's a thing that is that just like a UK thing and a Canada thing, or am I being lazy when I'm shipping? Because I don't ever wrap them. Oh, well, my grits just boiled over. So we'll come back to this, but it's a Morgan Greer, a brown Morgan Greer. And that's what I get for trying to multitask. So let's just relocate again. Okay. So you want whatever liquid you choose to use. You can use water if that's too rich, if all of this is too rich. But or just regular milk, or you can be really indulgent like I am and do heavy cream. But you want it to be simmering whenever you stir the grits in. I don't like to use yellow grits. I really prefer white. Because they end up being creamier and softer and almost kind of like pillowy instead of being, well, the opposite of that, hard, dense. So once it's simmering, you can kind of turn it down a little. And the real key is that you don't want to leave it. You can tell if you step away from it for too long, you can immediately tell that the grits will just settle straight to the bottom of the pan. And like it, you can whip them back in, but it's a little more difficult to get them to be creamy and soft. And it's a lot quicker to, it's a lot easier to end up with lumps, honestly. Jilly, the secret is butter and 4 cups of liquid to 1 cup of grits and stirring it. That is the secret. So another fun little thing. Snaps. I want to know what a snap is. And if it's grits, Simon, if you tell me this is that a snaps are grits, I am absolutely gonna only call them snaps from now on because that's way cuter. So anyway, another fun way that you can eat this the next day, because it's hard to reheat grits without them being lumpy. So what you can do is after you eat them tonight with the sauce and everything, spread the grits out on a sheet pan and throw them in the fridge. And then the next morning, you can cut them into little triangles or shapes. You can use a cookie cutter or whatever. And then you can sear them in a skillet with a little butter. and they get brown and toasty on the outside and really creamy and gooey in the middle. And they are so good. So, so good. Really go with just like a tiny bit of maple syrup. Um, yeah. So my grits are simmering. And they honestly, I don't know exactly. It sounds like grits are not the most popular thing in the UK, but I guess if you're on Amazon or whatever, I always get the quick cooking grits just because they're easier. And it says right on the front, 5 minutes. And truly, it does only take about 5 minutes. Um, if for some reason you did need to make this whole meal ahead of time, you could. Um, what I would do is make the grits kind of loose and runnier, and that will make reheating them the next day much easier because they will definitely. Oh, Jilly, now I'm hearing y'all don't like. Oh, wow. Wow, everyone across the board agrees, apparently, that grits are just a southern thing. Well, I'm going to just tell you, if all you little northern, East Coast, West Coasters, Midwest, and abroad made these grits, I promise you, you all will be converts and join the grit cult because they're amazing. Oh, wow. So many people are like, I've only ever had grits this place and I've hated them. Okay, well, all I can tell you is you must have had some shitty grits cooked by a person who maybe didn't know what they were doing. Wow. Yeah, butter. They definitely need a lot of butter. Agreed, Sarah. Butter is definitely key. Shrimp and grits are what I'm making. Oh, wait, Jackie doesn't know what snaps are either? Dustin is here. Hello, Dustin. I'm making barbecue shrimp and grits, but it's not actually barbecue. I mean, that's what we call them here. I don't know why. I'm not sure where the name comes from, honestly. So when you make them with more liquid than usual, because let me see what. Hmm. Well, I don't know. This does say a 4-to-1 ratio of liquid to grits. Anyway, when you use more liquid to cook them, it allows the grit to absorb much more liquid and kind of like plump up a little more and get a little just like creamier and softer. Let me see. I think I have oats in here. So oats are not the same. Same brand, but they're not the same. Grits come from corn. Um, hominy specifically, I believe. Um, so no, not exactly the same. Cream of wheat. The only cream of wheat I know is the color of my skin. Cream of wheat? Absolutely not. I don't even know if I've heard of cream of wheat. A flavored corn snack? Okay, polenta. Yes, polenta is the cousin of grits. It's usually yellow. It appears, Sarah, that I'm not going to need to try cream of wheat. Oh, but then here comes Zane talking about cream of wheat's good. Oh, yes, Melissa has told me of cream of wheat, but she calls it farina because she's fancy. And Dustin, I think I would eat it with honey, but otherwise, it does not sound delicious. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so my grits are getting thick. It appears maybe grits are to polenta as cream of wheat is to farina. But if I remember correctly, the farina is a brand, and that's just Mary. I mean, sorry, Melissa. Melissa um, always called it that, even though that was the brand name, if I'm correct. All right, I'm moving you back. The grits are on low, so they're good to go for a minute. Once they get that initial kind of creamy texture, they're fine and ready and good to go. Okay, so back to the unboxing that I'm doing on top of cooking and everything else. So I got a brown box Morgan Greer, little instruction book, and these I had to double check with Melissa because I wasn't sure about this, but the backs of these, when I saw them, I was like, what is going on? They look like someone hit them with some sandpaper or something. But that is apparently how all of these are. Boop. So there's that. It looks like it's in, of course, this is going to be like the most difficult thing on the planet to show, but it's in really good shape. I mean, in real life, it doesn't look like really anyone ever even shuffled it. So that's the surprise deck that I didn't remember was coming. How sad is that? Well, sad for my pocketbook, really, not sad for me, because obviously it was exciting. Um, and now I have this other one. You want me to count the cards right now, live? Fine, I'll do it. Challenge accepted. There's 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. 78. They're all here. Yes, I did get it from eBay. Both of these, I think, are eBay finds. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Well, that's weird. So this, I'm going to try and get rid of this, but... Oh, and there's my home address. Hope nobody's stalking me. Anyway, they, like, scribbled in eBay, but then that underneath says Amazon and stuff, so who knows. This I know what it is, and I'm excited about it. And if I'm correct, it's another... It is another Morgan Greer. Can I just say I love it when people do this? Just put it in a Ziploc bag. And this is... in my opinion, and I guess one day I'll make a video about it. In my opinion, this is the last edition of the Morgan Greer that came in a box like this before US Games took over. Oh, this deck was loved. Very much so. But, like, not in terrible shape. And I won't feel bad reading with it because it's not, you know, pristine and amazing. But how many Morgan Greers? Oh, down that goes. How many Morgan Greers? Let me see. I'll just take you with me. This is exciting. I've never done this before. It is... Oh, surprise. Here's my house. I guess I didn't plan on that. Good thing I kind of wiped up a little. This is my 10th Morgan Greer. Okay, and we're back over here. Let's scooch it back this way. Let me try to catch up on my comments really quick. And then I'm going to add the cheese to this. Oh, hello, Rachel. Nice to see you. Oh, Dustin wants a house tour? Yes, 10. Okay, look. Really, this is Melissa's fault. Except she's going to definitely say it's not because I con her into collecting every version, every edition of lots of things. But yes, it's 10 different editions. And honestly, I probably have one or two that are duplicates that I need to just pass on to someone else. Yes, I'm blaming Melissa. But okay, let me get back to why I blame her. Because she is the person who coined the phrase going full Pokemon, which is a thing that we say to each other all the time. And it basically just means that you collect all of the editions of a particular deck. And Melissa, in this case, I will be happy to be the pot. You can be the kettle. That's fine. I fully take credit for it. Okay, so back to the grits. So basically at this point, you would just add the cheese in, and then that would be it. The grits are done. Um, the sauce, you could make the sauce ahead of time super easily. Get it. You can go all the way until you add the butter. And then at that point, just put it in containers and stick it in the fridge, or you could even freeze it and then thaw it out, warm it up in a skillet with the shrimp, let the shrimp cook. And then once the shrimp are cooked, just finish it with the butter, and that's it. That's your sauce. Serve it over the grits. Um, the sauce in this case is gonna be Vermont super sharp white cheddar. It's my favorite to put in grits. I have also made it with Gouda before. It's really good with Gouda. It's really good with I've done it with goat cheese before too. Also very good. I have not seen Pasta Granny, but that sounds like a lovely channel. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Um, Robin, you asked about my yellow boxes. I have um honestly, I'm not totally sure. I want to say 25, 26. Um yeah. So that's the end of that. Um I mean, because the sauce is not done, and also it's gonna be finished tomorrow. I'm not gonna cook the shrimp in it tonight anyway because um Simon, yes, I'm definitely gonna trade you that deck. So I'm gonna message you after this and figure out what we're gonna do about it because I definitely want that deck. Um Yeah, so I don't want to overcook the shrimp because they're gonna eat it tomorrow, and then that would be reheating cooked shrimp, which is not. I mean, they'll get rubbery. So what I'm gonna do is get the sauce, like I said earlier, to being ready to be done, and then I'll send the shrimp and the sauce with them, to them, and they'll throw the sauce in. I mean, the shrimp into the sauce at the last second, add the butter, and then they'll plate it and eat it themselves. Um, yeah. So I guess that's that. Um, dinner is basically done. Hello, Claire. Nice to see you. Um, yeah. So I guess if anyone has any questions about the food or questions for me or anything you want to talk about. Oh, oh, excuse me. Let me 1 second. I'm gonna blow my nose. Oh, and also wash my hands because that would be disgusting since I'm cooking for really anybody, but definitely someone that's paying me. All right. See you, Jen. All right. Um. Oh, and here is my old ass phone instead of me because I'm not a good YouTuber, obviously. um. All right. Well, that's really all I had for tonight. There have been, I mean, it looks like an average of like 25 or more people here, which is way more than I expected. Since I didn't even plan this, I just was like, hey, let me go live because I'm cooking. Um, so yeah, I guess unless anyone needs, has any questions or anything, I'm gonna probably cut this short. And by short, I mean at an hour, which is longer than I thought it was gonna be in the first place. Um, yeah. So thank y'all all for coming by and hanging out with me while I cook. Um, and you know, opening up some decks. Um, Sarah, I don't. When did you email me? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I did or not. I haven't checked my email this afternoon though, so if you did it today, there's a good chance I haven't seen it. Oh, and Melissa wants to see the food, even though it's fully not done. So, this is the grits. Really creamy, really delicious. Ultimately, they will end up being thicker than this, truly. Um, and then here is the progression of the sauce. Not totally done, but getting there. Um, oh, Rachel, you must have just missed it. I did open them live. I opened them in the middle of cooking. You're another one. I need to figure out. I need to watch. Well, I guess pay attention to your videos that I watch more closely because you will be doing what I'm doing now, like making food or doing whatever. And I don't know how, but like you always seem to like maneuver well, and I don't know. Other like Becca keeps up with the chat and looks at the camera and talks constantly. I don't understand how. Um, anyway, the decks that I unboxed were the brown box first edition Morgan Greer, and kind of ironically, the royal blue last edition of the Morgan Greer. So, and also, I guess I never really paid that close of attention, but the font changes, so that's pretty cool. Um, all right, well, they do, Rachel. There are 10 plus different ones. Um, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get going because we're right at an hour. And thank y'all all for being here and stopping by. And yeah, I hope y'all do something fun for Halloween or Samhain. And I'm sure I'll see y'all soon. Maybe I'll do this again. I'm sure I'll do it again. I'm not gonna say when because like I'm bad at timelines, but I'll try and do it again. Maybe next week since I cook twice a week for people. Um, and thanks. Y'all have a good night. And I can't do it without a finger gun. Gotta have a finger gun. See y'all.